So this is the next video in the best TV theme songs of all times for the 1960s.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Oil, that is, black gold.
3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
You know we got a mystery, the sauce on Scooby-Doo.
So going into the 1960s, we're going to have a sitcom here that was shot a little bit differently than your typical sitcoms at the time, but has a really classic theme song.
The Andy Griffith Show.
And another show that was very much a show of its time. So we'll give 1960 to the Andy Griffith Show. So going into 1961, we are going to look at a show here with an absolute absurd premise.
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed.
I really like these TV theme songs that just sing about what the show is about instead of just being like music or something. It's like, we got a talking horse. And looking at talking animals, why not take a look at this cartoon?
Yogi Bear is smarter than the average bear. Yogi Bear is always in the ranger's hair. At a picnic table you will find him there. Stuffing down more goodies than the average bear.
1961, I'm going to give the edge to Mr. Ed in this case. 1962 is going to give us kind of the country rural influx of shows into television, and one of those having a very famous theme song. Once again, a theme song setting up what the premise of the show is.
Said California is the place you ought to be, so they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
And what is something that could be the exact opposite of the Beverly Hillbillies? Well, how about something futuristic?
Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane, his wife.
But here in the 1960s, we are still not past the Western being a huge deal in Hollywood, as this show will show us. And in 1962, we have a show that had premiered earlier that is finally now getting to its iconic theme song. And so we're going to put it here in 1962.
The Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke.
And of these shows, we are going to give the winner for 1962 to the Beverly Hillbillies. So 1963, most of the time I am looking at things from American television, and I'm not really taking a whole lot of foreign stuff into consideration. But in 1963, there was a show from the BBC that premiered over there in Britain that actually had a pretty amazing theme song for the time. Not that the British were the only ones doing sci-fi, as this show here will show you.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
Now this one is a tight race, but I'm going to give it to Doctor Who. Okay, 1964. We have a lot of classics here. We have theme songs about the shows. We have a big rundown of sitcom theme songs here.
The weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed.
If not for the courage of the fearless crew,
The minnow would be lost, the minnow would be lost.
Gomer Pyle, USMC. Starring Jim Neighbors as Gomer Pyle.
And there's an animated sitcom that had been on the air for several years that now this year introduced its classic theme song.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a page right out of his story.
So this is like really the first really super difficult year because of how many great shows there were. I mean, between like Flintstones and Gilligan's Island and Addams Family, it's just really hard to pick a classic there because those should all go on the list. I am going to go ahead and give this victory to the Addams Family. For 1965, we're going to look at another soap opera.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
And then we're going to look at a pair of really unique, unusual sitcoms. We'll have a classic sci-fi show. And we'll have another Western show up, but this one is going to have a very unique twist. While there were a number of really great themes in here, we're going to give Hogan's Heroes the win. In 1966, we're going to have a show from last year that changed up its theme song and went to color this year. And this is definitely a memorable theme song. And one of the greatest theme songs ever with some of the best lyrics ever. This is top-notch writing here. And we're going to see a show here which is going to be one of the first shows that we're going to see pop up on here that is really trying to tap into basically a younger generation here and not just going with the stuff that like the old people liked.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
So I want some of you who have no idea who the Monkees are, I want you to leave in the comments based off of this intro or the little bit of the intro that I showed you what this show is about, and then look up and see how close you were. And naturally, we have to have some classic sci-fi.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
And another show with a classic theme song, one of the most famous of all times. And there's some really good ones in here, but once again, it's got to go to one particular one. So 1966 is going to go to Mission Impossible. 1967. Now, I don't put a lot of different variety shows in here, although there were a lot of them done by different celebrities. But this one here that I'm going to do is just such a unique intro.
From Television City in Hollywood, it's the Carol Burnett Show with Harvey Korman.
Now we're going to have a show that's a revival of a 1950s show, but when it came back this time, it had a new theme song, and that theme song is very classic.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
We have this action show here that you can see they were trying to make look very high-tech for the 1960s. And an animated classic.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Yep, we're gonna give it to Spider-Man. 1968. Next we have a show whose introduction sequence absolutely took advantage of its Hawaiian setting. Lastly, here in 1967, we are going to have one of the most famous children's programs of all time, one of the longest running ones, and it just had this simple theme song that the series lead performed at the beginning of each episode all the way through the entire run of the show.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
And so we have a show here with a little bit different take of the whodunit. It's not really a whodunit because you know who did it, but it's more like, how is he going to catch the person that done it? And for 1968, we all know which one it is going to be. It's going to be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So 1969, how about a sitcom with a theme song that tells the story and sets it up?
Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. That's the way they all became the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch.
We have a variety show that was part of that country rural influx of shows with a very memorable theme song.
Welcome to Hee Haw, starring Buck Owens and Roy Clark.
One of my favorite cartoons and one of my favorite intros for that cartoon is these characters have been used many, many times in there with a little bit different intros, but this one's my favorite intro of theirs.
Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. You got a silver. You're not human being, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver.
And another children's television show, another classic, one that's still on the air now. I can't really say that about too many shows that I'm going to be mentioning on this list, but this is a classic.
Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is free. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
We are going to give the win for 1969 to the Brady Bunch. So that is a look at all of the 1960s. I have a 1970s video coming up that you can look at. You can also go back and look at the 1950s if you haven't seen that. Be sure to go down and give this video a thumbs up and a like, and go down into the comments section and let anyone know what you think about the show down there. You can also subscribe to my channel and make sure that you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. We'll see you around next time.